A very good day to Dr. Tamoy. Today, my group and I will present on the strategy in business level and corporate level of Sime Darby Berhad. I am Normaliatul. I will start this presentation with the company's background. Sime Darby Berhad was established in 1910 and founded by William Middleton Sime, Henry Dresden Darby, and Helbert Mitford Darby. The headquarters was located in Kuala Lumpur. Sime Darby Berhad is an investment holding company which engaged in the trading, healthcare, and logistic business. It operates through the following segments, which are industrial, motors, logistic, and others. The industrial segment consists of sales and installation of equipment, sales of parts, provision of after-sales services, and engineering services. The motor segment sells vehicle and parts, after-sales services, assembly of vehicles, and handling commission income. The logistics segment focuses on the terminal handling and related services. The other segment refers to other sources. Next, types of strategy implemented by this company. Firstly, business level strategy. Company focus on how to deliver value to customers while maintaining a competitive advantage. The company adopts differentiation and cost leadership. Differentiation is evaluate how a business can position itself as an industry leader in its market, which support quality over cost. Cost leadership is a term used when a company projects itself as the cheapest manufacturer or provider of a particular product or commodity in a competition. The management must constantly work on reducing costs at every level to remain competitive. So I will pass this presentation to the next presenter, Nur Shamira.
Thank you, Malatul. My name is Nur Shamira binti Abdullah, and I will continue to present Sime Darby's business level strategy. Sime Darby has adopted differentiation strategy because they focus on narrow market. Sime Darby Motors particularly represents the luxury and super luxury segments, which includes BMW, Porsche, and Rolls-Royce. These brands are aspirational in nature. For buyers, the purchase is not merely a transaction, it is an experience. Their customers value the physical touch points and engagement that dealers like them to offer. On the other hand, Sime Darby Logistics adopted cost leadership, where they reduced inventory turnover days across the business through successful optimization of working capital. Apart from that, Sime Darby Logistics had also implemented cost optimization initiatives to improve their efficiency and productivity. They also turned around underperforming businesses such as Kia in Taiwan. All these initiatives led to an increase in ROAIC to 11.1%. Next is corporate level strategy. Corporate level strategy is an action taken to gain a competitive advantage through the selection and management of combination of businesses competing in several industries or product markets. There are two corporate level strategy employed by Sime Darby Berhad. The first one is synergistic mergers and acquisition. Mergers and acquisitions refer to the transaction between two companies combining in some form. Although mergers and acquisitions are used interchangeably, they come with different legal meanings. In a merger, two companies of similar size combine to form a new single entity, while on the other hand, an acquisition is when a larger company acquires a smaller company, thereby absorbing the business of the smaller company. Mergers and acquisition deals can be friendly or hostile, depending on the approval of the target company's board. The second one is organic business expansion. Organic business expansions refers to the growth a company achieves by increasing output and enhancing sales internally. This does not include profits or growth attributable to mergers and acquisitions, but rather an increase in sales and expansion through the company's own resources. Sime Darby Industrial has implied synergistic mergers and acquisition, where they commence acquisition of Salmon Earth Moving Holdings to expand more into construction in New South Wales, Australia, while Sime Darby Motors has collaborated with Maituka for used cars and Soka for after-sales and fleet management. They also commenced venture capital investment in the companies in the mobility sector such as Soka. Other than that, Sime Darby Motors has also acquired BMW Tebrau and BMW Wellington. As for their organic business expansion strategy, Sime Darby Motors opened 3 new showrooms in GA1 cities in China, which are Changsha, Shenzhen, and Dongguan for their BMW, Volvo, and Mini. They also obtained Porsche assembly franchise for Malaysia. In 2021, Sime Darby Motors has strengthened partnerships with China EV OEMs such as NIO, Shenzhen, Li Auto, Haikuo, and Chujing, and Mister in Changsha. That's all from me. Now I will pass the next slides to the next presenter, Jasmine.
Thank you, Nur Shamira. I'm Jasmine and I will continue the presentation with motivation for strategy. I'm going to start with motivation in the business level. The first strategy is revenue enhancement. The objectives of this strategy includes to grow volume and market share in core sectors, to grow after-sales parts and services for the industrial and motor divisions, and to leverage connected assets as an enabler to increase and protect market share. The second strategy in the business level is cost optimization. The objectives of this strategy is to enhance operational excellence to strengthen resilience in down cycles via process standardization, robotic process automation, Lean Six Sigma, and procurement controls. It is also to streamline and improve business processes through technology and innovation, among others. Moving on to motivation for corporate level, the strategy used is synergistic mergers and acquisition. The objectives of this strategy is to leverage additional distribution channels and access new customer bases. It is also to gain entry into new geographical markets and to seek collaboration with strategic partners to create shared value. Next, I will explain on the focus for financial year 2022 for each motivation strategy. Starting with revenue enhancement, under the industrial division, they plan to expand new CAT product range. They also want to focus on developing productivity solutions and focus on expanding geographically within Asia Pacific, specifically in the construction, mining, and oil and gas sectors. In the motors division, they plan to focus on achieving higher unit sales in core luxury segment while leveraging on new model cycle. They also want to focus on used car after sales market segments to improve margins. They also want to focus on growing omnichannel capabilities to capture more sales and enhance customer experience from online channels. Under cost optimization, for industrial, motors, healthcare, and logistics division, they plan to continually focus on initiatives that enable them to achieve operational excellence so as to increase productivity and reduce costs. They also plan to implement efficient working capital management to reduce invested capital, optimize inventory management, and increase cash flow. They also want to focus on turning around underperforming operations. On the other hand, for the synergistics mergers and acquisition, under industrial, motors, healthcare, and logistics division, they plan to explore acquisitions that will help to strategically diversify and/or expand their business and alter the profile of the group. They also want to explore expansion opportunities in emerging markets to capitalize on substantial market and favorable demographics.
Thank you, Jasmine. I am Nur Khairunisa and I will continue with the pitfalls of the strategies in terms of differentiation strategies. First, there is too much differentiation. Companies may strive for a better level of quality or service than their customers demand. As a result, they become vulnerable to competitors that offer comparable quality at a lower cost. Another one is the price premium is too high. This pitfall is quite similar to too much differentiation. Customers may desire the product, but they are unable to get the premium product at a premium price, especially during this current economic situation, which is high price is not relevant for most people even though it is a world-class product. For example, according to the article of BMW Dov Vien Prodata, one of their luxury automobiles, which is BMW, revealed in January 2021 that its sale in 2020 dropped by 8.4% due to the impact of the COVID-19 outbreak and the restrictions. Clearly, the premium price of the luxury products are not relevant for most of consumers, especially during the pandemic. Next is the pitfalls of overall cost leadership. One of it is reduced flexibility. Developing a low-cost advantage frequently requires massive, economically scaled activities as well as major investments in plant and equipment, distribution infrastructure, and cost-effective operations. As a result, businesses frequently discover that their investments limit their flexibility, making it difficult for them to respond to the changes in the environment. Next, too much focus on one or a few value chain activities. Managers frequently reduce operating costs but do not evaluate the capital project spending from year to year. Managers may also decide to cut selling and marketing costs while ignore manufacturing costs. Sime Darby's motor industry, for instance, is way too focused on one value chain activity, which is operations. We can tell that the company is solely focused on improving operational efficiency in order to strengthen its on-cycle stability. However, a firm is supposed to pay attention to all activities in the value chain in order to better understand the entire cost of the organization, identify cost-cutting opportunities, and focus on a broader strategic view. I will continue with the industry life cycle, which is the introduction stage. In the 1910s, Sime Darby & Co. began as a small firm of professional rubber plantation consultants based in the port city of Malacca through the merger of two smaller firms of plantation managers, which is Sime & Morehouse and Darby & Watson. The firm acted as agents and managers initially for 7 rubber companies, which is in Alor Gajah, Air Panas, Kempas, Pajang, Pantai, Pegoh, and Radela. Other than agriculture activities such as rubber seeds, the company includes other necessities and an increasingly large variety of consumer goods. In the 1929, Sime Darby & Co. took the daring move of acquiring the Sarawak Trading Company, which held the franchise for Caterpillar earth-moving equipment.
Thank you, Karenisa. I am Noraza Quraisha, and now I will continue the presentation by explaining the growth stage of Sime Darby. From the 1960s to the 1970s, Sime Darby Holdings Limited was one of the first to begin large-scale investment in palm oil, expand the heavy equipment business into a new subsidiary, which is Tractors Malaysia, and diversify into a wide range of new businesses in heavy equipment, engineering, and consumer goods trading. The group expanded even further in the 1980s with the Pernas Sime Darby Group, a joint venture between the Sime Darby Group and Pernas, gained the rights to import and distribute Ford, Land Rover, and BMW vehicles, and also acquired the tire-making business of BF Goodrich in the Philippines, along with the Southeast Asian rights to distribute Apple computers, amongst other ventures. Sime Darby's then debut into property development, which would eventually expand into a major core industry, was marked by the group's landmark purchase of United Estates Plantation Berhad in 1985. With the purchase of United Malayan Banking Corporation, which would eventually develop to become Sime Bank Berhad, the business began to focus on a new variety of activities such as insurance, power generation, through a 40% share in Port Dickson Power, manufacturing, and banking in the 1990s. In 2000, Sime Darby was a major Malaysian conglomerate with interest in plantations and commodities trading. In 2007, it merged with Kumpulan Guthrie Berhad and Golden Hope Plantations Berhad. This resulted in the group re-entering Bursa Malaysia with a market capitalization of nearly RM60 billion. In 2017, Sime Darby took the next step in its journey, evolving into 3 pure-play organizations. It's at the end of 2019, Sime Darby Plantation Berhad was the world's leading supplier of sustainable palm oil. The company is also a major Malaysian property developer with a 46-year track record. Next, I will continue with the maturity stage of Sime Darby. The finance income for the group decreased from RM51 million in the financial year 2020 to RM46 million in the financial year 2021. This was mainly because the previous year's interest income included interest on India withholding tax recoverable received of RM8 million. Finance costs decreased from RM183 million in the financial year 2020 to RM122 million in the financial year 2021, due mainly to lower borrowings. Lastly, I will discuss the declining stage of Sime Darby. For the motors industry, car sales have certainly been impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic and its subsequent lockdowns. Sime Darby Motors Division recorded an overall unit sales decline of 9% from 86,906 units in the financial year 2019 to 79,241 units in the financial year 2020. This has translated to a 9% decrease in profit before interest and tax to RM574 million. all regions have generally suffered a decline in car sales and profitability as a result of lockdowns, with the significant exception of China and Australia, which saw an increase in both revenue and profit. Next, for the healthcare industry, it was a challenging year for hospital operations in the financial year 2020 because the healthcare division saw a decline in profits for the first time in many years. The group's share of profit declined from RM 49 million in the financial year 2019 to RM 39 million in the financial year 2020. The lockdown resulted in reduced admissions, deferral of elective surgeries, and to a lesser degree, a decline in medical tourism. Total admissions declined by 8%, inpatient days by 9%, and outpatient visits by 7%. Finally, for the logistics division, Weifang Port was hard hit. In February, China's economy was came to a halt as it dealt with the pandemic. And once the lockdowns were lifted, throughput took a long time to recover, owing to lower industrial activity in the surrounding area. In the financial year 2020, the logistics division posted a loss before interest and tax of RM 94 million, which included an RM 98 million impairment for Weifang Port Services, Sime Darby 37% joint venture company. Now that's all from me, and now I will pass the presentation to Nur Aisyah.
Thank you, Noraza Qureisha. Before that, my name is Nur Aisyah binti Abdul Wahid, and now I will explain the concept of merger and acquisition and internal development and how this may contribute value to the company. Diversification initiative, whether through merger and acquisition, strategic alliance, and joint ventures or internal development, must show that they will create value for shareholders. Start by diversifying into related business. Business can collaborate horizontally, sharing both intangible and tangible resources. A corporation can increase its market strength via pooling bargaining power and vertical integration. Second, a company can enter unrelated business to diversify. In this situation, the value of the corporate office derives from the way employees work together. Use support activities in the value chain like information system or human resource techniques. Now, acquisitions are the most visible and as a result, the most expensive method of diversifying a business. Acquisitions is the process through which one business becomes a subsidiary of another, while mergers are the consolidation of two or more businesses into a single legal organization. For Sime Darby, who uses synergistic mergers and acquisition for their corporate level strategy, they can take advantage of valuable resources such as critical human capital that can help an organization grow its product line. Next, achieving three bases of synergy for Sime Darby is possible through the following strategies such as leveraging core capabilities, sharing activities, and gaining market power. Thirdly, Sime Darby can explore new geographical markets and seek collaboration with strategic partners in order to build shared value sections. The next corporate level strategy used by Sime Darby is internal development, which is organic business expansion. Internal development is establishing a new firm by capital investment in new facilities. This is also referred to as a corporate entrepreneurship or new venture development. By pursuing this strategy, Sime Darby can diversify their product, solution, and service offering, while also identifying new revenue streams and market adjacencies to mitigate cyclicity and generate recurring revenue. In comparison to mergers and acquisition, firms that invest in internal development capture the value created by their own innovation activities without having to share the wealth with alliance partner or deal with difficulties inherent in combining activities across multiple firms, value chains, or integrating corporate cultures. Additionally, corporations can frequently develop new products or services at a lesser cost and hence rely on internal resources rather than external capital. In conclusion, as the COVID-19 pandemic continues to grow, they have achieved incredible success and delivered on their value creation plan through a diversified portfolio of industries and geographies, and uncompromising focus on innovation and exercising disciplined financial management in a year of uncertainty. They are now shifting gears to focus on their future by speeding their growth strategy and capturing chances that arise, inspired by their recent success. Not harmed by the pandemic of COVID-19, they are able to fulfill their objective as a result of excellent business level and corporate level strategies such as synergistic merger and acquisitions, organic business expansion, differentiation strategy, and cost leadership, which are implemented throughout their organizations. It is our hope that Sime Darby will continue to achieve success in the coming decades. That's all from us. We will thank you.